Right now, Venezuela has a multi-party system after a two-party system failed for about 40 years in the late 1900s. The governing party is the United Socialist Party of Venezuela, which was created in 2007 in an effort to unite multiple parties who supported former President Hugo Chavez and his Bolivarian revolution. Since the election of Chavez to the presidency in 1998, he has been the most important figure in Venezuelan politics, while ignoring the constitution and acting as Cuba's pawn, thus deteriorating Venezuela's relationship with neighboring countries such as Colombia and with huge trading nations like the United States. Chavez's withdrawal from the Andean Pact in 2006, his attempt to influence Peruvian and Mexican elections, as well as the tensioning of relations with Peru and Colombia when they signed free trade agreements with the U.S., are a few of the questionable acts he has committed. Using their oil well, state-owned Petróleos de Venezuela, or PDVSA, developed an initiative that worried other Latin American countries. PDVSA offered crude oil at low prices to municipalities that did not have major economic resources. However, PDVSA had only signed agreements with municipalities controlled by leftist political groups such as the FSLN in Nicaragua and the FMLN in El Salvador. This possibility of discounted oil for such municipalities was not a gesture of kindness, but a way for Chavez to widen his circle of allies with people who already agreed with his politics. Some might think that saying this is jumping to conclusions, but Chavez's previous acts show that his intentions have been anything but innocent. Chavez's expansion goes beyond the use of oil. Chavez and Cuban President Fidel Castro got involved with Bolivian President Evo Morales by stationing Cuban and Venezuelan advisors in Bolivia to keep Morales in their line of politics and in perpetual rule. Basically, Chavez and his followers have tried to organize radical groups in many South American countries, which has aroused fear in many countries. The power bestowed upon them by oil has made Venezuela hard to stop, and Chavez's interventionism has affected many Latin American countries. As if this wasn't enough, in 2004, Cuba and Venezuela founded Bolivarian Alliance for the Peoples of our Americas, or ALBA, which is an international organization of countries with socialist ideals. ALBA started out when Venezuela and Cuba agreed to exchange petroleum for medical resources. Chavez agreed to give Cuba about 96,000 barrels of oil per day from PDVSA, while Castro agreed to send in about 20,000 medical employees while granting Venezuelans to receive medical attention in Cuba free of charge. The original purpose of ALBA was to create a free trade environment between countries that had the same ideologies. However, ALBA turned South America greatly to the left, and in doing so, many violent events took place, such as the coup in Honduras in 2009, an attempt to create war in Bolivia in 2008, and in 2012, a failed coup in Ecuador. With such violence coming from Venezuela, it is easy to understand why other countries in South America, and even the United States, feared ideological expansion. In April of this year, Nicolás Maduro was elected president by whatever methods Chavez or Castro had under their belt. Earlier in the year, Maduro served as interim president, while Chavez was unable to rule. Although the Constitution clearly states that this job should have gone to Diosdado Cabello, President of the National Assembly, according to the Wall Street Journal, Cuba controls Venezuela's intelligence and state security. With Cuba behind Venezuela's power, it is important to understand why the rest of South America is fearful. Both countries are notorious for their widespread corruption, violence, and human rights violations, and it is important to keep an eye on Venezuela to ensure that what they are doing doesn't further affect international relations in South America and the world.